Blocks 1 activity, you first drew a square manually. Now that you're writing code, you're going to jump right into using a loop. Remember, a loop just repeats some logic within a given number of times. This will be similar to the Sqare you programmed with blocks, but with a few improvements. Start by setting the heading to 270 and change Hello World to Hello Sqare. The last thing before the loop is to add a short delay to ensure the speak block finishes before the Sqare starts rolling. Okay, now it's time for the loop. A simple loop in JavaScript is called a for loop, and the way you can set the loop to for is like this. Write for, parenthesis, var count1 equals 0, semicolon. The 1 in this statement is a unique identifier, and if you add a second loop later in the program, you need to give it another unique identifier, like 2. If you check out the code behind a blocks program, you will notice the same thing. Continuing on with the for loop, count 1 less than 4, semicolon, where 4 is the number of loops. Lastly, you need to add count 1 plus plus parenthesis to the end of the statement and end this line with an open curly brace, which prompts the code to listen for the logic inside your loop. Now add a code comment on the next line to explain the logic you just wrote. Use forward forward and type a comment like loop this logic 4 times to create a square. You can add a sound to play for each side of the square. Type play sound, parenthesis sound, and then you'll get a list of the sound categories. I'll choose the game category and the coin sound. Now set the main LED to green to indicate when Sphero starts rolling. Next, you will convert the roll command to change by 90 degrees each time through the loop by changing the 0 heading to parenthesis get heading empty parens plus 90. Okay, now change the color to red when the robot is stopped and add a short delay, like 1 second. To end the logic for this loop, add a closing curly brace at the same indent that the loop started. Lastly, after the Sqare completes, add a celebration sound like Win Classic from the game category. Now run the program and see if you get a square. Did it work? If you got an error, review your syntax and ensure all statements end with a semicolon and all open parens and curlies are closed. Now that you have programmed a square, you can make it run for quite a while. Test this by changing the loop count to 12 and see that the square repeats 3 times. Go to the next step to read about more tools on the text canvas.